It's almost kickoff, right?
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. We the boys.
Of course, we're the boys, right? I
All
believe we're
day.
live on TikTok real quick, so we're gonna have to do a little quick sound check real quick. Harvey, if you can, please.
See it. Anybody hear me? Can everybody hear me out there on TikTok? Yep, they got me.
Wait, let's do this, man. So real quick, first and foremost, thank you, TikTok. We appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Of course, the Cowboys Nation has been awesome on TikTok. Hey, even the opposing NFC East, the rivalries are real, man. There's some haters out there too, but hey, we got a short week. Thursday, like we said yesterday, we got Tennessee Titans. Let's break it down, man. Everybody likes talking about defenses, right? Because why? Defense wins championships. Harvey.
No, man. To think that the Titans are fighting for the division, right? It's
Yes.
crazy to me. I thought they were just going to take that division, and those Jags came from behind, man. But yeah, this defense, even though they're ranked 23rd, man, I'd still be careful, man. It's Mike Vrabel, that guy's he comes from the Belichick tree in my eyes. I don't care what anybody says. He grew up with Belichick, so to me, man, he likes to scheme certain players. So I'm sure he's probably going to take away some players in this game. Um, but they're an average defense. I guess we'll break them down here in a little bit. But it's just crazy to think that they're fighting for the division, man. We'll see what happens on Thursday, right?
And it feels like almost like they almost had like a late season collapse of
Yeah.
sorts, right? Because
Yeah.
like you said, they had a stranglehold on that division for a long period, right? We saw spotty play by the Colts. Of course, the Texans the Texans gave the Cowboys a run for their good money, but other than that, for every other team, they just have not really showed up, and obviously the record indicates that. I still believe the Texans are winless. Or no, I'm sorry, they're a one-win team. I'm sorry,
Yep.
and of course the Jags, man, they it took them a while to get familiar with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, and dang, they look good. And it's crazy to think that right now the Jags, they're tied with the Titans, but right now the Jags are, they are the divisional leaders right now. So yeah, it's a crazy twist of events. But the one thing that we all can agree about the Tennessee Titans is they are a tough team, and this is the time of the year that you do not want to see the Tennessee Titans. I know yesterday we said that Derrick Henry didn't participate. I think they had like 9 did not participate. On the other hand, on the Cowboys' behalf, though, everybody's healthy, with the exception of minor bumps and bruises. I know Micah, he had his wrist bandaged up today, and people were asking about him, and he downplayed it. But man, we were talking about this today, right, Harvey? I go, man, Micah doesn't give enough credit, man. He's old school football being played in this new era, and he's done a spectacular job fitting in because with a player like Micah, when he's ultra aggressive, you're gonna get what flags, and Micah has definitely been able to stay true to his game, and lots to love about him. But let's talk about the Tennessee Titans defense, and then we can kind of touch about the Cowboys defense, right? Because it's gonna be a short week for us up ahead. We do have some comments in the TikTok section. Harv, I don't know if you want to get us up to speed on that.
Yeah, let me get on these real quick. We need to focus together for a Super Bowl win. We can do it. Yeah. I think that's why it's important these last couple of games, right? Malik Willis will throw 8 total passes. As long as our linebackers can tackle Henry, we should be fine.
Well,
Is
today
it?
Henry did participate, and it was very limited, but he's dealing with a hip injury. But I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, shoot, there's a
Yeah.
possibility that I think that at one point they're going to rest a lot of their starters to get them ready for the Jags, right? That
Yeah.
was kind of what we heard, but nothing that's been definite, or uh, I guess you could say nothing that has been like made official for sure.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
Uh,
the defense, right? Who's some of the leaders on that defense that the Cowboys need to watch out for?
so right now we got Danico Autry. He's the leading sacker for them with 8. Jeffrey Simmons with 7.5. Demarcus Walker was 6.5, and Rashid Weaver with 5.5. Bud Dupree has 4, which is surprising. I thought Bud Dupree would probably be on the top of that list. But I mean, they got overall they're kind of even throughout the board. And then you got, which is kind of weird, right? Their leading interceptor is David Long Jr. He's tied. He's a linebacker with Kevin Bird, the safety. You think Kevin Bird would have more interceptions than a linebacker, but they both each have 2. And then everybody else just kind of has 1. So they total around 12 for the team. So not too bad. I mean, it doesn't sound like a crazy defense, right? It's just, they're just kind of in the middle of the pack. It's kind of,
Well,
I
you
don't
did
know,
say
man.
they're ranked what 26th,
23rd right now.
23rd, but they're actually they average how much on the rush defense? That's
So
what
they only allow 80 yards per game,
that's
which
actually
is
better than the
pretty good.
49ers.
Yeah. So that's actually pretty good, man. It's kind of scary, right? I guess the makings of another Eagles game is what it sounds like. Another 300 yards for Dak is what it sounds like in reality.
But if you look, Harvey, I wouldn't worry because right now this is the time of the year, especially in the playoffs, where teams try to stop the run and they have a lot of success. Because look at the Cowboys, they stopped. I know, we've already heard it. We've heard it yesterday. We heard it Sunday. We heard it Saturday about how since Jalen Hurts was out, he's half of the rushing attack, which he does get 10 to 12 carries. But the Cowboys were able to stop, Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell to 87 yards total between the two running backs. But you're talking about 2 running backs that have also been going crazy where they're running. It also helps Jalen Hurts. They kind of help hand in hand each other. Hey, Salt Bay, right? How does that guy do it?
Subbox. I don't know. He said
Oh, no,
no.
no, the guy Salt Bay
Oh, Salt Bay. Yeah, he goes like that.
goes like that with salt on
Yeah.
his elbow. What is he? He's going off right now. What is he saying?
He say no. You saying Dallas defense is better than the Niners? Not true. Who? When did we say that?
No, we never said that.
We never said that. What do you? Is he okay?
No, in fact, the Niners defense is the defense you need to be afraid of right now.
It's the number 1 defense in the NFL, man. What is he talking about?
Hey, we give respect where respect is due. Eagles had the number 2 defense.
Yeah, they did. And Dak threw them all over the field, all over the yard, baby.
Hey,
347 yards, I believe.
I believe it was a 40 burger. The way the way it's set nowadays. There was a 40 burger put on the Eagles altogether. So I like that. And if you guys want to get technical, if Diggs didn't give up those 2 plays, I think that we could shorten down. What would the score be if we shortened down by
30 40 to 20, probably.
40 to 20. Damn. Come on, Trey. Come on. Hey, we saw Trey say that he's gonna fix that up. So if he fixes that up, man, we're primed. We are primed for the playoffs.
They're getting into it. It's all good, man. They're hating on Saltbox. Don't hate on them. Saltbox is a good dude, man.
No Hurts excuses. No. What? No Hurts excuses.
Adam Fielder said Darius Slay got babied by our receivers.
Man, I'll tell you this. I thought. Okay, at one moment, people had us convinced that Slay and Bradbury were Pro Bowlers. All perennial Pro Bowlers. And I'll tell you this, CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah, that's it.
My bad. My nose is a little bit bigger than yours, but CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 1, right? Had a great game. I did have somebody that asked me a question, Harvey, and they wanted us to clear something up. And they were saying, can you please clear up the statement that you made about the Eagles? And I said, okay, which part, right? Because obviously the topic is about the Eagles, right? And how the Eagles are trying to force a rivalry with the Cowboys. But in reality, there's no rivalry because the Cowboys have literally the record is insane how many wins the Cowboys have over the Eagles, right? And so I think the part where they said to clarify was about about them being sustainable for long term. The only thing I would like to clear up is, look, I was just trying to say is I like what the Eagles have done. I think Howie Roseman is a very smart general manager. He knows how to play with all this with his, his contracts. He knows how to get the most out of his players, and he likes to use quarterback as draft capital, and that has enabled him to have a top 5 pick in the draft right now, and then of course a later round first round pick, right? Because of all the moves that he makes. So I will say this: if anything, the Eagles are winning this season, but it is going to be a long road up ahead for them because it's going to be is what you call sustainability. In other words, they're going to have to go through a complete revamp, um, and and then they're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts. So when you start paying a quarterback, what is it, 52 mil? It's kind of hard to keep all your pieces in place. Luckily, they got AJ Brown and their other wide receiver locked up. But then they're going to have to go and find some running backs that can perform at Miles Sanders level or Kenneth Gainwell level, and then you got to bring you gotta re-sign, and then you got older people that are gonna start getting paid big money. So even though you got those draft picks, you gotta hit on those draft picks, and it's very hard. Obviously, in this year's draft class, there's gonna be some talent there, but the question is, when you pay Jalen Hurts, how are you going to keep the same team around him? And especially when it's aging and then people want to get paid. So that's the only thing that I'll say about that. Harvey, did you want to add anything to what I just kind of clear up for the individuals who are asking?
No, I think it's you said it pretty clearly, man. They're kind of an older team with that secondary, with the corners, and then you're talking about defensive line. Defensive line's kind of old. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, man. I'm sure. I mean, he's done. I think he's done a pretty good job for putting this team together for this year.
And look, if you think
But
about it, there's some players out there that are really impressive, especially on the defensive line, which is
yeah,
where they really need to get they need to get up to speed. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Jordan Davis. They hit a home run with him, but that's kind of when you start thinking like Brandon Graham. He's kind of like he's been around in the league for a while. Derek Barnett also, he kind of grew old on us. Like, it's crazy.
it is right. It's like he. I don't know, man. I feel like he just got drafted like yesterday.
It does feel like a few years ago, but no, he's been in the league for quite some time. But what do the Eagles do, to be able to continue this, right? Because their defense has been good, and then Darius Slay and James Bradbury, they're both up there. I believe they're already in the back end of or they're probably going to be early 30 for sure, I would say. But getting back to it, I think that they should focus it on, maybe perhaps getting younger on their actual defensive line. I know that Clemson has a very impressive defensive end, Murphy, right? That maybe they should look into. Yeah, look, see, like Darius Slay is 31 years old. Hey, we got some interesting comments in the comment section if you want to read those out.
Yeah, let me get on there real
And
quick.
Bradbury's 29 and he'll be 30 at the end of next year.
All right, trade day team is okay. Titans are my secondary team. I live a few hours from Nashville. Defense can be suspect. Run game is where they get dangerous. We should be okay. Yeah, I mean it's just one of those defenses. It's kind of like like what do I say about it? There's not really. They're kind of like mediocre. It's like
Well, I mean,
uh,
if they're stopping the run, they're doing something right. But I will
yeah,
tell you this, you could tell where their problem is that at this point, do teams really want to test Dak Prescott out because he's taking chances down the field, right? And the one thing is that we've seen with the Tennessee Titans is they've used up a lot of draft capital on defensive backs, man, especially on corners. They've drafted, I believe, what was his name, Christian Fulton, out of LSU in the
yep,
second round. Then last year they dressed the year before it was last year. Caleb Farley. I was big on that guy because he's huge and he's fast. But man, a herniated disc, like what I'm saying, like these are like the little things. So obviously you could see what they're trying to do. They're trying to improve the defensive backfield. So yeah, I could see the ups and that. What did he say? I think if we are able to hold Derek under 100, and the run defense is going to get better, right? Yeah, of course.
yeah.
And then trade aid says if we struggle stopping the run, The passing game can get loose on us, though. Can't underestimate them. But I'm pretty sure Trey Diggs, he did. And the first thing that came out of his his fingers was like, man, I had a bad game.
Yeah.
Thank you for my team for cleaning that up for me. Right, Eagles have a small window for success. After that, Jalen, they're gonna struggle. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
That was kind of like what I was just trying to do. I wasn't trying to show any hate on the Eagles. Hey, there's some comments on the TikTok. I kind of want to bring them out. Eagles have a small window for success. After Jalen gets paid, they're going to struggle keeping talent unless they hit in the draft, which you are absolutely right. Ramiro says, well, let's see if the Titans play this game like a preseason game.
Yeah, they got a lot of injuries, man.
But
The word on the street is saying that they're not going to play a lot of starters because, I mean, it's true, man. Like they got if they lose this game, they have to win the next one. This game really doesn't mean anything for them because if they win this one and they play next week all banged up and they lose, it's over. They don't win the division.
but they could take this week off and then get ready for the division against the Jags the following week.
Yep, the last game of the season.
So what do you
That
do? What do you do if you're the Titans? Do you, like he said, do you treat it like a preseason game, like what Ramiro said?
I mean, it's hard, right? Because it's one of those things like who's really banged up. If you're really banged up, you're not playing. That's the way I would play it. If it was my starters and they need rest, I would rest them and then go on to see how everybody else is doing. And he's right. And then check out the first or second quarter, see how things are going. It ain't going your way, just let everybody out, man. That's what I would do. That's just my opinion. Because you not only if you win next the week after against the Jags and you make the playoffs, you still have to get into the playoffs and play teams. So you got to somewhat stay healthy or be healthy going into the playoffs. So I mean, it's hard, man. That's why they get paid the big bucks, Jerry, and I don't. They have to make those decisions.
Yeah, we somebody mentioned on TikTok, the Cowboys are not winning the NFC East. Yeah, we already kind of
Figured that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
already said that. I think well, a lot of it was on the Jags, right? I mean, if we would have won the Jags game, if
Yeah.
would have, should have, right?
So this guy says smoking some. I'm not gonna say last part, but
Yeah.
I'm an Eagles fan, and yeah, you're right. We are gonna have to start off the bottom again. Talking about the roster, it's so old on the defensive side. One of those veteran O line from Philly are gonna hurt. Play style will have a rude awakening. I don't want to see Jason Kelsey. That's my boy. Okay. Yeah, somebody said the Titans can't stop the pass.
So that's where that's kind of like where I want to focus on is does that mean that the Cowboys should abandon the run and let Kelling just sharpen up the passing game? Do you think?
Yeah, I think, hey man, we play everybody, and I think Ram brought it up yesterday about treating it like a preseason for us too. Man, if we're up by a lot at halftime, what's the point of keep playing the starters, man? Now, unless you don't like what you see and we're still struggling, obviously we leave them in and we keep playing. But at this point, that's the way I leave. I don't think Mike McCarthy's going to do that, man. I think he's going to play everybody if he can, to be honest with you. And then maybe at the end of third or fourth, he takes out Parsons and some of those people. But I think this is a full-on game, to be honest. We got to clean up a lot of things. If I was a head coach, we'd be playing.
The one thing that you can almost 100% bet on, right, is the fact that every NFL team comes and they bring their A game to play the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm pretty sure the Tennessee Titans or the Houston Oilers, whatever you want to call them, were they the Houston Oilers? Or were they the? Yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat section, can you please verify that for me? I believe Tennessee Titans were the Houston Oilers, right?
Yeah. So we got Alex here. This is the NFL. I think the Titans are not going to lie down and die.
Dude, they're a tough team. We've acknowledged
Yeah.
that. But I will say this: at
Kendall Whitley.
the same token, we do have that situation where this is what the 26th ranked defense,
23rd.
23rd. I don't know why I keep on saying that.
But this
Oh,
is
man, I
the
lost
thing,
it.
Jerry. This is what's weird. This is what's weird about this game. It's one of those. How do you prepare? How do you prepare? Yeah, Tennessee Oilers, Houston Oilers. Yeah,
The Oilers. Go ahead.
yeah. But I'm saying this is a tricky week, right? Like, are they playing? Are they not playing? It's kind of like Mike Vrabel might be playing some games, man, just to kind of. I don't know. I really don't know. It's one of those iffy weeks. Like you don't know if Derek Henry's going to play. They haven't ruled him out yet, have they? I don't think they have.
No,
So
limit. He was limited in today's practice.
practice, yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know what they're trying to pull. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose. But either way, the Cowboys have to get ready for the starters. I think that's just the way you practice and you prepare and you stop the run. But the defense, man, um, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm worried a little bit just because it's one of those games where I'm like, oh, we got this in the bag. It's too easy, right? What happens when we think that way? The Cowboys struggle and they struggle. They start off slow, and this defense puts it on them, and they start doing it too late, coming from behind, which I don't mind sometimes, but it's just one of those defense, man. That I don't know, man. I'm not. It doesn't sit well with me, Jerry. It doesn't sit well with me, to be honest.
It's because it's one of those things where you kind of push them to the side because it's not a division that we play in. Number one, and the South, for whatever reason, the South hasn't been the same. AFC South specifically has not been the same in what, at least 4 seasons. I mean, honestly, they haven't really been like a powerhouse team. The
No.
only one from that division is the Tennessee Titans that we have to give respect. What did that guy Jose say?
Jose?
Yeah, just to
Dak
scroll a
is the
little bit.
worst, most overpaid quarterback contract.
Come on now. Number 4 is legit, bro. He
Sure.
yeah, I want to say I don't want to say he single-handedly won, helped us win I believe he's the key factor why the Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles, especially with that third and forever, right? That third in heaven almost it felt like to T.Y. Hilton. That thing was on the money. Michael Gallup, that TD was on the money. So, if you're gonna be talking about like that about Dak, I need some context, man. When I say context, in other words, bring me facts, give me numbers,
Yeah.
give me logic. I want to know his record against your team. I want to know his record against the Philadelphia Eagles team. I want to know what you've seen in his throwing motion. I want to know, how many interceptions he has on the year. Like, but I want it like that. I don't want you to go and look it up.
So Trey Day says they were the Houston Oilers that came to Tennessee and became the Tennessee Oilers, then changed the name to Titans. Got
Yep.
it.
I
Thanks
told
for-
you.
Alex said Russell Wilson right now is the most overpaid quarterback. Ooh.
Round of applause for Alex on that
Give
one.
him that. Good job, Alex. Hey, that's hey, you
Put some
gotta-
respect on R4, man.
Hey, this is the thing though. They're calling out Colin Hurd, man. Because Colin Hurd says there's gonna be so many Super Bowls to come. I was like, man, why? This is the thing, man. You didn't. Nobody expected that to happen in Denver. Including myself. I said, you know what, man? That defense got Russell Wilson. It's over, man. They're gonna be fighting for that Super Bowl for the next couple of years. It's shocking, man. It's
I
shocking.
was, I'm not gonna lie, I was sold on that division. I said, dang, the
Yep.
AFC West is strong. I mean, you have Patrick Mahomes, and I've been saying it for the last 2 years with Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, man, every team needs to build a defense that can take away what Mahomes does best. I thought the Denver Broncos had been one of those teams that had been doing that. And then, when it was time to sell out on a quarterback, they sold out on a quarterback. But dang, Russell Wilson, he looks like hot garbage right now, man. I don't know
He
what the
does,
heck is
man.
going on. I mean, look at that. Nathaniel Hackett, the first time coach, he got fired, man. And Nathaniel Hackett has actually, his dad was a well-known coach in the head in the football. I believe his dad coached with the Dallas Cowboys. Well, TikTok's going off a little bit. I like it though. We got 8,100 likes. What I want to know is, Alex, if you're still on, or Ram, if you're still on, what is your prediction? What should be the Cowboys' approach, or even Trey? I don't grocery shopping, but I'm not. But no, I'm here, fellas. Thank you, Adam. Woo! Grocery shopping.
No, that is a good question though, Jerry. What is it, man? This defense is like. I'm telling you, man. I watched up a couple of games. There's nothing fancy about it. There really isn't. For the
Look at
most
that. And
part,
TikTok is going. TikTok is finally speaking up, man. Somebody said no. I think Kyler Murray's the worst. So
because
that's good though.
you gotta think. This is the thing, right? This defense. Davis Mills had 178 yards passing with a touchdown interception, and they literally had like 70 something yards rushing, and they won the game.
That's why you're saying you don't know what you get.
Yeah, the Texans won the game with not very much. So I don't know, man. It's one of those tricky ones. I don't feel good about it, Jerry. I really don't, man. I don't.
It feels like that for the last 4 games. Hard. Well, you know what? Since the Packers, man, I'm on, baby. 40 burger again this Thursday, fellas. Hey, I love it. I love it, man. Sometimes we need somebody to help us kind of like spread our wings, man, because it's kind of hard because I believe the one thing that we have been stressing is that the Cowboys, and man, it was on Christmas Eve. That was a lot of pressure for them, man. What'd you say? Ain't nobody opening Christmas gifts.
Ain't nobody press if we lose, man.
And the one thing that we stressed was that the Cowboys had not dropped 2 back-to-back games this season. So that was a great thing. But it's almost crazy because the struggles that we've had of late have come off of teams similar to the Tennessee Titans, which is if you were to say right now, I'm asking whoever's watching, whoever wants to chime in, and I encourage you to chime in. If you were to tell me who's the better team, Houston Texans or Tennessee Titans, who would you pick? Adam says, now should we rest Parsons this week? I think we should, man. He had a taped up wrist, and I don't like that. Somebody said Denver's just a horrible team. Harvey, what if I gave you the 2, Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, who would you say you fear the most?
Man, that's a hard one. They're kind of the same. I mean, I don't know how to explain. I'm telling you, man. I'm not.
Look at Adam. He's giving you all the confidence you need. Read it.
I don't feel good about this game, man. I'm telling y'all. I'd have to go with the Titans, man. I'd have to go with the Titans.
Adam says, "The hell with it, Texans and Titans. We beat both." I'm with you, Adam. Honestly, I think that I think that after Thursday's game, our rushing attack, from what I've seen and observed, I think that our rushing is not gonna get going like the way we are used to them getting going. Now, I don't get me wrong, if you feed Tony Pollard enough, I think he could break you, a good 50, 60 yarder on any defense. It doesn't matter what defense it is. But I will say this. I love the situation that Dak is in because the game is on the line. It's on Dak's shoulders, and that's what I want to see. He says, I'd fear a healthy Titans, and you know what? That's exactly where I want to go with too, is I would fear a healthy Titans. So I see why you're saying you're kind of you're a little bit reserved, especially with you don't know what you're going to get because they're not healthy, number one. And this is an opportunity for people to make a name for themselves. Like Malik Willis has a great opportunity to say, you know what? Let me shake off those mishaps that I had earlier on when I started as a rookie quarterback. Let me see if I can show that I'm the future rookie. I mean, I'm the future at QB, and watch him be, Aaron Rodgers out there, lighting up the Cowboys defense.
This is one of those games where they're like, hey, the Green Bay receivers suck. They're not that good. And then the rookie has like a career day on us. Like they've never caught touchdowns. And then now, the Titans, their defense is okay. And all of a sudden they have like 5 sacks and 2 interceptions. Like it's just one of those games, man.
I love Adam, dude. Look at Adam.
The only team that should worry us is us. But I think the way Dak played after the interception, man, we're going to go far. You know what? You're right, man. What am I talking about? Get me out of this slump, Adam.
Look at TikTok, man. I mean, Houston, Tennessee has no QB at all. So somebody actually would pick the Houston Texans because of the QB situation.
Yeah, that's
Uh, and
true.
and then somebody also picked the Titans. So thank you all for chiming in on that. I will tell you this: the only reason that Harvey and myself feel a little reserved with the Tennessee Titans is because we don't really have a familiarity with this team. Like I mean, how many games have we faced off against the Titans in the last 4 years?
Not very many, man. Maybe in the last 4 years, maybe two.
That's what I'm saying. So like
Like
we're not
maybe.
familiar. We're not even familiar with this team. But the only thing that we've seen from this team from afar is that they're a very tough team. They
Tough. Yeah.
if they can get their running game going, and they've always had a relatively above average defense. That's what we've seen is that this Tennessee Titans have always been there knocking on the door in the playoffs. Second round of the playoffs. I know that they've had limitations, but I still would feel comfortable with Ryan Tannehill at the helm at quarterback against the Cowboys this week. I'm just saying that's just facts.
I
I,
think another thing. Go ahead.
Eagles, any update on Vanderish?
I don't think. I hope he doesn't play.
No, I believe he was limited today in practice.
I just hope he don't play. Ram
Hey,
Willis has yet to throw 100 yards and over 51.2%. Jesus, Ram's gonna bring it, man.
yeah.
Give him a round of applause, man. That dude's always.
I'll tell you this: if you guys ever want to get into a really good battle where you want to test your football smarts, Ram is the guy to do it, man. And it's
For
crazy,
sure.
you're talking about you're talking about a very busy man, man. I mean, he works. You know what I'm saying? I wish he had an average job, man. But you know what? He works. He comes home. He studies football. Watches all 22 on the Dallas Cowboys, and boom, he gets in. He looks around, looks at the landscape. Man, when you're ready, you think you prepped everything. He comes and makes you. He smokes you, man.
But so Jerry, the other thing I think I'm kind of reserved on this team, this defense, because there's nobody that you're like, we have to scheme for this guy. You know what I mean? It's one of those
Yeah.
defenses where it's kind of like they play as a cohesive unit. So it's not like any one player you're like, oh, we got to scheme against this guy. Does that make sense?
No, it
It's
does.
kind of it's kind of like they play together, man, and you're just kind of like, hey, man, we just gotta figure something out, right? But obviously they're gonna stop the run. I mean, that's what they're good at. They're gonna stop the run. The way we have to attack them is like I said before, man. We run the ball regardless. I don't care if we get freaking 1 or 2 yards per carry. You have to keep the You have to keep the defense like on their toes a little bit, so they know that you're not going to just be one dimensional. We have to run the ball in conjunction with passing it, man. That's just the way it is, regardless if it's working or not. So
What I do like about this is that if the Cowboys are able to come into this game and put up some yards on the running game, right? Especially in the running game, because we know that can pass, right? We know he's a good passer. We know he can win the game for us. He can also lose the game for us. But let's just say we go into this game and we start sprinkling some of this, the three tight end package and all that stuff that we've been impressed with lately. And let's say we actually break out a great game on the actual rushing attack. How confident would that help you getting into the playoffs with knowing that you can, stack up and put up, yards and touchdowns on a top ranked rush defense?
well, I mean, my dreams would come true, Jerry. My dreams would literally come true.
In other words, you
Like
wouldn't fear the 49ers as much as what everybody
I
else
wouldn't
is.
fear anybody if we could do that. Not one single soul would I fear in the playoffs if we could do that. But the problem is
Hey,
we have to be able to do it. So
shout out to Cotton City, PPC, baby. Only the real ones though.
Cotton
Uh,
City, only you're right.
Only the real ones know what PPC stands for. Shout out to Ramiro from Adam. And he says, I believe Henry is hurt also. Yeah, man, he has a hip injury that he's been dealing with. He was limited today, so it looks like he's trying to play.
Hey, 165 is back. Hey fellas, what is going on? You guys won. Yeah, we won. It's hey man, it's one of those you had a backup, we had a backup. It's kind of a neutral thing. I guess we'll have to settle in the playoffs. I mean, that's what it comes down to, really. Just think about it.
Some people,
It's a
some
wash,
people,
man.
some people call it karma, man. I didn't believe in karma up until recently, right?
A backup and a backup, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, he goes. I just found out Pollard's not participating. Should we rest him this week? Yeah, he's actually dealing with a was did I tell you, did I say was it a knee injury?
I think it was a knee.
I could pull it up, but I'm gonna have to turn down. Hold on, let me turn down.
They saying Henry's going to play for a playoff push after the loss to the Texans on TikTok.
Let me
I don't know. I don't know. There's so many rumors going around, guys, that they're saying that Mike Vrabel might rest everybody. We don't know that yet. I think he's going to take it day by day, and I'm sure we're not going to find out till probably either right before kickoff or maybe at the end of Wednesday. But man, he has
what
a big decision to make. He has a big
what
decision to make if he's going to play these guys.
what do you say? Cotton City, win is a win, baby.
A win is a
And Dak
win. You're right.
and user the one that man user you took it to us, man, before the game, and you ruined.
No, you know
pretty
what?
much.
I'll tell you what, user. Remember what I said, man? 165. I said if I was a coach, I would have rested my starters. And look what happened to Maddox and Lane Johnson, man. That's scary.
Ooh.
And
And
that's what I'm
Maddox,
saying. And remember, I said, man, when you're playing these kind of teams, man, you got to be careful. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We play football and things happen, but we'll see, man. It's kind of scary, but we got to be careful too, Jerry. We got to
no,
be
yeah,
careful too.
no, because we've seen it, right? Like I said, I guess I didn't get to finish that part was we have a great game against a great team, and then what do? We put up a stinker against a team that's not doing so hot. But I say, you know what? Let's go ahead and take care of business.
Hey, hold
Obviously, the
on, hold on.
Cowboys.
I got a question. I got to answer, Jerry. I
Sure,
got to
sure,
answer
sure.
this question on TikTok. Javier, why do you think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl team?
Ooh,
Oh man, somebody asked me, right? So this is what I'll say, man. Um, so this I talked about this with Jerry before we came on, right? Our defense, as of late, is not playing very well. Not playing very well, right? But for whatever reason, we keep coming up with interceptions and fumbles and all that. You know what I mean? It's just small things that we have to clean up. Now, this team reminds me of the times the Chief made that run to the Super Bowl. Remember when Patrick Mahomes was putting up, I think, 40 points and the defense was kind of suspect, but they made plays at the right time and got the ball back? That's kind of how it feels. Now, are we a Super Bowl team now? I don't think so. Not right now. I think that's why we play these next two games to kind of clean that up and see what happens going into the playoffs. But once you're in the dance, man, anything goes. You can throw out all those records. You can throw out all the defensive stats. It's a whole different game. The game goes faster. So you never know, man. This defense might get it right at the right time, but we'll see. That's what it kind of reminds me. And that's kind of how I feel.
I agree with you. I think that if anything, that was a really good take, man. With the Kansas City Chiefs, they really did their defense wasn't their strongest. It wasn't their strongest suit, right? And they really relied on Patrick Mahomes to finish the deal and get him the ring. So I'm with Harvey. I like what I like. Don't get me wrong. I love this defensive group. I think it's better than last year's. I just
Yeah.
think that what the Cowboys defense is kind of running into is they're running into overachieving again. And that we've seen that it can kind of turn around and bite us in the ankle, right? Did we read this one, Alex? I hate these
No,
Thursday games. They need to give the teams bye weeks the week before so they can be fresh, man. There's a
hey,
good point there.
I said
It's
that
a good
too.
point. It's a good point, man.
Yeah. I think it's a better outcome for everybody on Thursday Night Football, to be honest, if you have a week off the week before. So what does Ram got to say?
Dallas has to come out and just dominate. Titans O-line is very suspect. They can run block, but are one of the worst teams in pass protection, man. So are you man, it's getting too early for them prediction. Action Jackson, where you been? Yes, sir. He goes,
Oh,
it's our
about what I
time.
said, probably.
Yeah. It's our time, fellas. Hey,
It
Adam,
is,
it,
man.
it feels like it, man. The last time the Buffalo Bills looked like they were one of the stronger teams in the AFC, they were going deep into the playoffs. So were the Dallas Cowboys. But you know who was also being very pesky for the Cowboys during that time? San Francisco 49ers. And everybody thought that they were the best team in there. User 3457, the one he says you have a good point there. Look, what does he say? Look, sorry, but Cowboys will fall short again. Man, I hate to say it. It happens every year. And then Javier, I appreciate your honest answer because in 27 years it's been the same story. And then
It
somebody,
has,
oh,
man. It
it has.
has.
I see Dallas Cowboys let down this week. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's all good. I mean, that's what Harvey's saying. He feels a little bit that.
I
Nah, it's
do,
all good.
man.
Actually, it's all good, man. Hey, uh, you're here. That's all that matters, man.
That's all that matters, baby. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
do
we're
feel
just
good
trying to
about this game, man.
yeah, we're just trying to get wrap our heads around this defense.
It's
This
weird.
defense, obviously they can shut the run down, but the thing is that the pass defense is kind of sus. It's very sus actually. So I think what we're trying to say is, do you trust Dak to win us this game if it's put on his shoulders to win this game? So I think that's going to be the question for the night, or for the evening, right? Look at that, man. We're up to 8,100 likes on TikTok. What do you say? All that matters, we both are in the dance.
That's
That's
all
all that
that
matters.
it doesn't matter, man. Nothing. And I'll tell you, looking just not only I know we're talking about Titans defense, but if you look at NFL at a broader range, we got to think, Jerry, who's really, if you think about it, other than the Eagles, and the Eagles, let's just be honest, they've had some close games here lately. They haven't lost. They lost against the Cowboys, but I'm saying before that, they were playing games that were close. And now you got to think who's the one team that's just playing so well right now? It's the Niners.
They've won
But
eight
there's
straight.
no, yeah, they're the only team that's really not struggling. The Buffalo Bills are struggling. The Chiefs are
with,
struggling
with the rookie quarterback too.
with the Ricky quarterback. So I'm just saying, like, that's why I keep saying this. These two games are important for us to kind of wrench things up and make sure that these guys on defense are getting together and communicating, and we're playing together as a team and get better towards the end. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, man. Look at Tampa Bay when they went on the run. They were horrible in the first half of the year. And then something happened towards the end and they got hot, man. So at any time, that could be us, but we'll see.
What's going on, Johnny? The most important thing right now for our Cowboys is to go into the playoffs hot and healthy. Man, well put, man. Why didn't I just start it off with like that? You know what I'm saying? It's so subtle, so simple, right? We're here mystifying things and making it a lot difficult than what it
That's
is.
Johnny Munoz, man.
Yeah. Well, he came over from the
Yeah.
TikTok site. But what do you say? 49ers got a good defense as well. Man, these are kind of hard to keep up with.
So
Eagles
this
had
is my
injuries. That's not a struggle. I don't know where you got trying to get to with that, but and then somebody said my brothers are Cowboys diehard, and I hope you guys can win so they could be happy again. They should be happy because every year is Cowboys year. That's what people don't understand, man. Like it's just a
I,
mindset thing.
and that's what I said too. 165 just said the 49ers rookie quarterback will be exposed during the playoffs. And we've talked about this, Jerry, have we not? Hey
Yeah,
man,
there's
I
there
will
has
I will
no rookie quarterback that has made it to a Super Bowl, or I'm sorry, or have won a Super Bowl. To be
have won a
correct, right?
Super Bowl. Yeah,
Has
have
won
won
a
a Super
Super Bowl.
Bowl.
I
But
think Ben
look,
Roethlisberger got to
nope.
Ben Roethlisberger and Mark Sanchez. They got to the divisional championship, right?
AFC. Well, Dan Marino was a rookie when he went to the Super Bowl.
That's
Dan
right.
Marino he was his rookie. But anyways, this is the thing, man. And I said this before. This rookie's playing. I will always give credit when credit is due, 100%, regardless if it's not my team. But I will tell you what, when the playoffs come, this is a copycat league. The defenses in this NFL will figure you out. They've had enough film on you now that when it comes to the playoffs, it's a whole different story. A lot of people have said it. I think Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Charles Haley, the game gets so much faster in the playoffs. It's crazy. You don't have a lot of time to think. Now, we'll see, right? That's why we got to play the games. But I'm willing to bet this guy's going to have probably some problems come the playoffs.
Somebody said that Big Ben. Are they saying that Big Ben did get to Super Bowl? He did not get to Super Bowl, guys.
He did not get to the Super Bowl. He went to the
He
AFC
got,
Championship.
he got into Super Bowl, I think, the following year, I believe.
The following year, I think he won the following year. What are you?
It doesn't matter, man. All that matters is that you're in the dance, you're in the playoffs, and you get hot and healthy, like Johnny says, right? What's going on, hermano? And Johnny says, stack the box, take away the running game against Tennessee, and if the rookie quarterback beats you through the air, then you tip your cap to them.
He's right.
Ooh, man, dude, this guy's bringing that knowledge, man.
But I'm going back.
I feel like, you know, I just went to church and I got to throw money into the basket. You know what I mean?
But this is Jerry. This is the perfect game to play man to man, bump and run.
Well, at least fix that with which is, I think that, you know, the reason why the Cowboys defense hasn't been able to get home is because these rookies have been coached up. Get that ball out 2.5 seconds. And you know what? What defensive end do you know can, or have you seen that can get home in 2.5 seconds? I mean, they need some time to get there. And like he said, if it takes, you know, if it takes anything, you know, hit that like a button, everyone.
Hit that like button, baby.
Yeah,
everybody hit that like button.
Man, you got me choked up. The like button, please. We're at 8,200 likes. We appreciate that. We got 19 people watching on TikTok. Hey, we appreciate all of that. Tomorrow we will have the breakdown, the offensive breakdown, and then we're gonna go ahead and just recap Cowboys overall. We'll clean up the all 22 on the Cowboys offense and defense. We'll let you know. I know right before I got on, I was actually watching the offensive line, the actual offensive line. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some things that I've kind of saw from the get-go is Tyler Biotish, man. He's actually picking up the center position a lot better than what we thought. I think that we're a little bit too harsh on him. I like the way he, you know, he gets into his stance and then he observes the left guard and then he observes the right guard and then he'll help out. He helps out the left or the right guard, whoever it is that is engaged at that time. And I like what he's doing. So there's some good things there. Tyler looks like he's starting to understand the game a little bit better. You can see him starting to use technique with his movement. So, you know, there's great things to see. Tyron Smith looks like he's starting to get everything, his footing wise. I haven't finished the whole tape yet. Today was a busy day today, but tomorrow we'll have that finished and we'll be able to talk about that. And then Thursday we can have fun. We need all of you all to come back in, do your last minute takes. Rafael Perez has a question for you, I believe, Hurry.
Javier, your biggest enemy is Jerry Jones. He hurt the Cowboys when they were becoming a dynasty. Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. I could be here all night.
Adam is awesome, man. He's
ready, man. He's ready. Hey, wait. Yeah, I think he's buying burgers while he's shopping because he keeps saying 40 burger.
Like, there's your prediction: 40 burger on the Titans. T.Y. Hilton will be the X factor. Haters, hit the panic button, but make sure you hit the like button and share, right? Because those two are very important. If you share and you like, and of course you tell everybody about us, you know, and we grow together, man, things will be better, man. You know, we cut out the middleman and we go and we do it. Yes, Ralph, we know he fired Jimmy Johnson. No, he didn't fire Jimmy Johnson. Walked away from this situation. But
hey, so let me answer this question real quick. Aaron's 196. They just gave up 6 sacks to the Eagles. They were lucky to win that game. I'll tell you this, man. I'm the kind of person I don't believe in luck, right? This is the way I look at it. When you're prepared, and preparedness meets opportunity, good things happen. And I'll leave it at that.
Look at that, man. Johnny says, look at TikTok. He came over from TikTok. Yes, sir. Help out our brothers grow. Adam says, good job, guys. Thank you both for this podcast. Hey, man, we're going to have a lot of fun, man. With the phone lines are coming. The phone lines are coming. It's going to be so much fun.
The great first person I want to call is 165. He needs to be the first caller. I want him
Oh
on the
yeah.
line.
Oh yeah, man. No, but now I want to hear Adam. I want to hear Johnny, man. I want to hear all of y'all. And the great thing is that you guys don't have to show your face. You could just say, you could say what you
Yep.
guys feel about the game. We'll even we'll even back off. We'll let you say what you're gonna say, and then we'll dissect that. What he said. Y'all think that Henry's playing Thursday, man? I think it's gonna be kind of hard, man. What did Ryan have
Yeah.
to say?
Ram, I noticed one thing past couple of games. Quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball in less than 2.9 seconds. Have the NFL figured out the Dallas Cowboys? Or the D, I mean, Dallas D. It's
I
true,
think
man.
so, man. I think so.
They're passing
But
the
a
ball
lot
a
of
lot
that
faster.
is that because the corners are playing off too much?
It is. That's what I keep saying. The corners are playing so off that they're running quick passes and they're getting rid of the ball. That's what I'm trying to get at, man. We need to change that.
Why
We have
hasn't Dan Quinn changed that? Is it because he's
he,
just used to that in the cover 3 scheme that he came from?
that's just the way he is, man. That's his mentality. He needs to change it though. Hopefully, I'll be honest with you, Jerry. When I did watch the film, they did do it a little bit more than usual. This last game, they actually did do that. So, can we do it all the time? I don't know, but we need to do it a lot more for sure.
He says, "Who's better right now, Eagles or Dallas? No luck, just facts." He goes, and the reason why, because he's bringing context. Eagles had 6 sacks. He goes, explain, no luck. Uh, don't get me started on our quarters, man. We can hear people already kind
Yeah,
of answer that. But I will say this. Um,
I'll let you
I
answer
think
that, Jerry.
Well, you know what? You're gonna have to wait till we meet you guys in the second week of the playoffs. That is mine right there. Because I'll tell you this: Dakota Prescott has owned the Philadelphia Eagles since he's came in. Yeah, Carson Wentz had what 2 games on I believe Carson Wentz when he was he was an Eagle. He was actually drafted second pick overall. What John say? Yep, and also our DBs are biting too much on the sluggo row and slat and go.
Yeah,
Man, I love it, man.
Johnny
Uh,
bringing it today.
Johnny is, man. Like I said, we need a bucket, man, to pass. And he's taking us to church. They need to be better with their eye discipline. Yes, I think we said, Johnny, if Diggs didn't bite on those two, that's well for sure. One score is off the board. The other one is they don't get that score either. So that would be the score would have been 40-20 if Diggs didn't bite. So I think one of them was on a fourth and what was it, 4th and 3, and
Yeah.
they knew he was gonna bite, man. They knew he was gonna bite, and he bit. And Devontae Smith scored his first touchdown. Anything else before we get going, Harvard? Because I know
So
we
this
got
is
some.
so this is this is my thing, man. I'll say one last thing. I'm gonna answer his question about the Eagles and Cowboys, why I think they're better.
Okay,
And I'm not saying this because I'm a Cowboy fan, right? Because I'm a pretty I'm not gonna say biased, but I'm a Cowboy fan. But this is the way I look at it, right? These two teams are good teams. Obviously, look at the records. They're good teams, man. This is my thing though. How much experience does Cooper Rush really have? Not very much. And we came back against the Eagles. We almost came back. It didn't happen. He still threw 3 interceptions and we still came back, right? So if you compare him to Minshew, who's actually been a starter in this league for a while, two different quarterbacks, man. Two different quarterbacks. So to me, I think that's kind of like it's kind of one of those things, man. I just think Dallas is better, man. Just because, yeah, the Eagles might have more sacks, but I think our defensive back as a whole is better, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You're talking about all defensive backs, not just the corners and the safety. I'm talking about all of them combined together. I think we have a better secondary. Um, that's just my opinion, but I guess it takes a game to play it, so we'll find out here in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
Adam says bump and run, and Diggs needs to stop taking chances and just play the way he does, the way he has been playing this season. You mean, like I told the haters, we beat the Eagles defense no matter who's at quarterback. And just to kind of finish off and round off, because I know we got to go. I will say this: the Cowboys are better because they have Mike McCarthy, who has actually won a Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni's still young. Hey man, you know what? I will say this: Jonathan Gannon and Nick Sirianni, they've really done a great job as far as putting together a unit on offense and defense, and getting and scheming them up on air, on a weekly basis, right? To take on the different alignments ahead of them. Yeah, the Eagles' schedule is a little sus, right, as far as strength of scheduling and whatnot. I don't know, man. For me, it just feels like the Cowboys had a crazy year, man, as far as their
Yep.
schedule. I mean, it looks like they faced off against top tier echelon, teams. It started off from the get go. You had the Buccaneers and Bengals. I mean, those are no easy jokes, man. At that time when we first started, right? And the Bengals looked like they were going downhill, but look at the Bengals; they're doing good. And right now, Tampa Bay is still the AFC South. I mean, the NFC South. The NFC South divisional champs. Adam, peace out, brother. We'll see you tomorrow. Alex is going on the road for the playoffs. Our best bet than playing at home.
He has a point. He has a point. I'd rather play away. I'm not gonna lie.
Johnny says, "Great show, brothers. Keep up the great work. We will, man, for sure.
Yep.
Hey, tune in tomorrow. We want to see the final breakdown. But Alex, I say no home, man. Let's go straight and let's handle business, man. I think that that's the best thing for the Dallas Cowboys. Be battle tested all the way through because regardless of what they say, I saw somebody put on there that Kyle Shanahan is a genius coach. You know what? He knows how to scheme up his offenses. He knows how to get his running game going. The running game is always strong. That's the one thing that we can't take away from the 49ers. But the biggest thing that Kyle Shanahan is that guy has he has, not only does he have a monkey, he has a gorilla on his back, man, because you know what? He cannot finish this. He cannot get the ring, man. He failed with Atlanta and Dan Quinn, and he failed again with the San Francisco 49ers. But hey, they're right there. They're one of the teams that you gotta be, what I'm saying? You gotta give them respect. I will say this, they've missed. Did they miss on Trey Lance? Question mark. And that's gonna be a big old question mark. They gave up a lot of draft capital, and this year they only have one third round pick, so it's going to be hard to continue your build. They're going to have to pause the team building that they have around them. And they're going to have to hit strikes on every single. When I say strikes, I mean like they're going to have to hit home runs on every single draft pick that they have this year to be able to put together a team because we've seen when Debo goes down, a lot goes down in their offense whenever they've been able to use running backs as they go or as they need, but how long can you sustain that? That's my biggest question. So hats off to the 49ers, hats off to the Eagles, great seasons. Cowboys, go Cowboys. It's our year every year. Remember that. That's it for us. TikTok. Hey, you guys need to come and join us over here on YouTube, man. Show us some love, man. But we appreciate the love. TikTok, we'll see you guys tomorrow about the same time.
Cowboys for life.
YouTube, we love you, man.